Hello everyone, welcome back to Base Damage and welcome back to Community Fridays. This week we have a deck posted by PhantomStar in the Base Damage Discord, and this is continuing along the Eminent stuff from last week. This is a bit more, probably more of the meta top end and stuff that you're going to see, but I still wanted to talk about it regardless. The reason I say the more meta stuff is because you have the really powerful War Goddess Beatrix. We'll get talking about her in just a second. I figured just kind of give a little bit of an overview. I believe he said this was the most up-to-date version that he's messing with. It is a 4 salvage for the Beatrix and 4 pants for several different climax combos that actually work off of that one. And we will go over that in a little bit here. I did want to show, I realized I probably should start showing off the deck codes when I do the Community Fridays. So the deck code for this one, if you just want to look at it yourself, is 5M2H1 on deck log. So let's talk about the Beatrix. Let's get right into it. We have the 3/2/10k War Goddess Beatrix. When this is placed on stage from hand, draw up to 1 card. Choose one of your opponent's characters, and that character gets the following ability till end of turn. During this card's battle, you cannot play events or backup from hand. Now, this is a choose effect, so if your opponent has hexproof on a particular character, obviously the Beatrix cannot choose that card. But it prevents your opponent from doing any crazy shenanigans, any anti-damage, any rest counters when you swing with this against that particular character. Now, you do not have to reverse for her combo. That does, that is a big thing to note. But it does prevent your opponent from interacting on particular characters because you are trying to tri-field this, and I'll explain in a little bit. When this card attacks, if facing the strongest, which is the salvage, is in your climax area, you may pay the cost, which is 2 stock, and discard 2 cards from hand. If you do during that attack, perform a trigger check 2 times on the trigger step. This gets the following ability till end of turn when this card's trigger check reveals an event or an Eminence in Shadow character, which is the entire deck. You may deal 2 damage to your opponent. So what this does, though, obviously you get to possibly burn 2 twice and then her damage, which is just really strong, really powerful. Another thing that people don't take into account is someone's going to be like, oh, that's really stock intensive. But because you trigger check twice, you're paying out 2, but then you're getting the 2 back instantly. So it's very much like Enterprise from Azure Lane in that regard. And honestly, I still think it's just as strong. Like, I believe the Enterprise burns for 3 each time for its basically same kind of climax combo, but it's a burn 3 instead of a burn 2. But I'll admit, I kind of like the burn 2 a bit more. That's just me. Also, both good characters, but damn, Beatrix be hot. Anyway, so there's some more stuff we do need to discuss for this. So 4 copies of that. 3 copies of 2/1 Shadow. So 3/2, 10,500, 2 soul. All of your other Eminence and Shadow characters get 1,500 power. At the beginning of your Encore step, if this is in your center stage, and there are no characters in your opponent's center stage, or all characters in their center stage are reversed, you can pay 1 and put 1 card from hand in the waiting room. If you do, put the top card of your deck into your waiting room and deal X damage to your opponent. X is equal to the level of that card that you milled plus 1. So you always at least try to burn for 1. You can possibly burn more. This is very similar to the Oz Key from Hololive. 1 copy of Deploying Zeta. Now, this does have a climax combo, but we're not going to be talking about that because we don't run it in here. Instead, you're going to be talking about why everyone runs this anyway, which is when this is placed on stage from hand, you can pay 1 stock. If you do, your opponent puts all of their stock into the waiting room and put the same number of cards from the top of their deck into their stock. So you do have stock swap in Eminence and Shadow, something to keep in mind. 4 copies of At the Top Shadow. This is one of the climax combos that we have with the Stylish Bandit Slayer, the Pants trigger, and this does involve the level 3 that we mentioned before. So it's a 2/1/5k. When this is placed on stage from hand, you can discard a card. If you do, choose an Eminence and Shadow character in waiting room, return it to your hand. 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to be grabbing the 2/1 Shadow, but if you already have the 2/1 Shadows, you could grab the Beatrix, you can set up for your combos, you can do whatever you need. During your climax phase, when you play Stylish Bandit Slayer, you can sack itself to summon a copy of the 2/1 Shadow on the stage position that this 2/1 was on. So you just get to early play these and do some really fun shenanigans early on. So very cool there, very fun. But you would think, oh, that's the other climax combo of the decade. There are other advantage engines for this, but people typically see this and go, oh, then it's not going to have some kind of plussing engine. No, you're pushing for damage with this one, but you do have a plussing engine with level 0. We will get there in a moment. One copy of Power Source Chi is a 2/1 2500 backup. When you use this card's backup, you can pay 2 to refresh. Return all cards from waiting room to deck and shuffle the deck so you don't have to take a penalty. Very nice. 2 copies of Form Restored Alpha. It is a free 2K backup, just blanket 2K. Very nice. We have 4 copies of Ignoring Orders Delta. This is a 1/04K. When you play it, you can reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's an Eminence and Shadow character, you can put it face up underneath her as a marker. And while she has a marker, she gets plus 3K power, so she becomes a 7K. Very powerful. That's it for the ones. We are already into the level 0s here. Seeking Cover Perv Asshat. It will never not be funny. 00500. When a climax is placed on your climax area, look up 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck and put them on top of their deck in any order. This could be very, very good to know what your opponent has. Oh, I see there's a climax in those top 2. Put the climax on top, swing with something weak, and then try to push for damage afterwards. So, and then it's a brainstorm of pay 1, rest this, mill 4. For each climax revealed, look it up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, add 1 card amongst them to hand, rest go to waiting room, repeat process. So, very good there. 2 copies of Obsessed with Money Sid Kagano. It's a 0025. When this is placed on stage from your hand, you can put an Eminence and Shadow character from your hand into your clock. If you do, look it up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, choose any 1 character amongst those, reveal it to your opponent, add it to your hand, put the rest in waiting room. So, very nice there. I've always thought that dealing damage to dig that far was kind of weird, but you know what? If it works, it works. That's just my personal opinion. This is the Morning Greeting Minoru. This is Sid. This is just before he got isekai'd. 0025. When this is placed on stage from hand, you can put 1 other character from stage into waiting room. If you do, search your deck for any 1 climax, reveal it to your opponent, add it to hand, and then pick 1 climax in your hand and put it back into the deck. So you get to climax swap, but from the deck. And it's instead of having to discard anything, instead of having to pay a stock or whatever, it's the cost of sacking another character, which is honestly totally easy. Then we have the level 0 beta. This is when this is placed on stage from hands, you can put a climax from hand to waiting room and put 1 Eminence and Shadow character from waiting room to the bottom of your clock. If you do, grab back any 1 climax from your waiting room and add it to your hand. So another, with that art. Sorry, I was going to say something and I realized the art. Another one of the climax swappers. Very good. 2 copies of New Beginning Sid Kagano 002K. During your turn, this gets 1000 power, and when the card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you can choose one of your other Eminence and Shadow characters, rest it, and move it to an open position of your backstage. 4 copies of Lending a Hand Shadow. I believe there's a promo version of this that we haven't gotten yet. I don't know. It's a 0015. All of your other Eminence and Shadow characters get 500 power. And when the Stylish Bandit Slayer is placed in your climax area and you have 2 or more other Eminence and Shadow characters, look at the top card of your deck, choose up to 1 event or Eminence and Shadow character revealed from that, add it to your hand, put the rest into your waiting room. So if you reveal a climax, the climax goes to waiting room, but events and characters all go to hand when you do this. So 4 copies of that, and that is going to be your other kind of major advantage engine early on, so trying to get all the pieces that you need. So then we have the 7 Shadows Alpha. This is one of the double rares. 001K. When this card attacks, if you have another Eminence and Shadow character, this gets 3K power till end of turn, so it can become a 4K. When this card becomes reversed, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a level 1 or higher, you can rest this card. Just outright, it saves itself, which is just kind of crazy. And then 3 copies. We're getting into some of the cool events now. I say cool, but this is just one of the funniest ones. I just love the name of it being Om Nom Nom. Is a 3/1 a red event. When you use it, choose up to 1 Eminence and Shadow character in your waiting room. Return it to your hand, and then choose up to 1 War Goddess Beatrix in your hand. Put it on any position of your stage, and she gets an extra 4K power till end of turn. So it lets you, you get to salvage something, which you could just salvage the Beatrix if you absolutely needed. But if the Beatrix is already in your hand, you can just grab another piece that you need, another combo piece of the puzzle or whatever, your climax swapper or whatever you need to do. And then she gets big, she gets even crazier because you just go, cool, you can't use backups or events anyway when I attack, but also I'm going to get super freaking big. So it's just really crazy there. Also, one of the best, just very cute card art. The shiny of this is her just she's taking a bite and is just savoring it, and it's just so damn cute. 4 copies of Bestowing Power. It's a 1/0 blue event. If you don't have an Eminence and Shadow character, can't play it. Look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. Choose 1 Eminence and Shadow character amongst them. Reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand, rest to go to waiting room. And then you may choose 1 card in your level and 1 card in your waiting room and exchange them. So you get to color fix, but you really shouldn't be having problems with this deck, but that's just me. 4 copies of Facing the Strongest, which is for the Beatrix, and 4 copies of Stylish Bandit Slayer for both the level 2 combo and the level 0 combo. And that is going to be it. So big thank you to PhantomStar for sharing this. I do greatly appreciate it. I very much am on the Eminence and Shadow hype train. I know people are like, oh, it's not that good of a set. I think it's fun. I don't care what other people say. That's whatever. I just think, I wish people would stop hating on it. That's my only thing. I don't know. To each their own. People are going to find something to hate on. That is going to be it for us today, so thank you very much for watching. If you want to share your own deck profiles as well, whether it's Eminence and Shadow or something else coming down the pipeline, we got some UMA stuff coming up very soon, I know, about another month or so from now. But we got a whole bunch of other stuff coming down the pipeline. If you want to share your own deck profiles, feel free to join the Base Damage Discord. There are 2 different channels that you can submit your deck list in. There's a Community Fridays channel, obviously, and there's also just a deck list submissions channel. Feel free to post in either one of those using a deck log link like this, and I will definitely take it into consideration, and I'll look through, and if I like the deck, I will probably post it and make a video about it. So that is going to be it for me. Y'all stay safe, and as always, remember to stay based.